Right, we're gonna start over again. Okay. Fast forward. Oh, I feel like such an idiot. I'm so sorry, you guys. My mic was off this whole time. Wow. All right. We're just gonna get into it again. All right. So, good thing it's only been 2 minutes. All right, y'all. I'm so sorry. All right. So, this is part two of mental health in the military. So, today, I'm just gonna kind of go off the riff, off the cuff, just really about mental health. So my first video, which if you have not seen the first video, the part one video, just go in the description box below and just I'll post it so you guys can see it. But it really just talks about the stigma on mental health in the military and how in whatever status or branch you're in. I mean, I've heard stories of people who are retired. I remember people when I was in the military and people from all branches. And some branches, the stigma was kind of worse than other branches. So it really just depended on who you were, your gender, your marital status, and how people saw you. And there were so many factors that came into it. But just to, sorry, oh, by the way, before I get into it, I'm not promoting anything, but stay off your back. And if you know, you know. But anyway, so when I was in, I've had mental health problems for kind of a majority of my life, to be honest with you. I remember as far back as me being a teenager, just having depressive episodes, and then I had to go see a therapist, and then the idea of medication would come up often, with me seeing a therapist. And for over 10 years, it had and has really, because it hasn't stopped, but it's been a journey trying to figure out my balance. And, something that I thought about the other day is, as we get older, I mean, because our brains are literally changing every second, the way that your mental health was when you were 15, when you were 20 years old, is not going to be the same as when you're 25 and when you're 35 and 55 and 75. So as you get older, the way that you maintain your mental health has to change. I'm just learning this myself. For me, and again, I'm not speaking for everybody here just because I'm not everybody else. I'm just me. So I can only speak on my own experience and just what I feel. But, when I was younger, I was able to kind of just like take a few vitamin supplements that kind of help boost my mood. And that was pretty much it. I was like, 16, 17. So my body was on overdrive all the time. So in that state of my life, I was okay. And then when I went into the military when I was 19, going on 20, I noticed the depression, anxiety episodes would kind of get more severe. But my way at that time of coping with it was drinking. I would drink a lot. I would party all the time. I was partying as often as I could. I would take my little $200 check, and I would go get one of my friends, and we would go to the bar. And when I tell y'all, I would just drink, to make me feel like I had some sort of control over my life, like I had some sort of control over myself. That's what I was doing. I'd be at the bar from 6 p.m. till 3 a.m., 4 a.m. This is real talk. But now that I'm hitting 28 here very shortly, I noticed that drinking for me actually makes my mental health worse. So when I was a little bit younger, it kind of did help a little bit. But now that I'm getting older and I don't drink really at all, maybe once every few months, if that, or special occasion, but that's pretty much it. But now that I'm getting older, me drinking, I can't drink at all, or I'm just going to have a whole meltdown. And if I do drink, it has to be so minimal that like it's really not going to have an effect. So that's just where I'm at right now. I took like a hiatus basically from making YouTube videos. And just to be honest with y'all, I was just down and out. I just really, I was going through it. I was just having an emotional breakdown, a spiritual breakdown, and I'm just kind of in the process of trying to just allow God to lift me up and just allow God to kind of heal me and bring me to a healthier place spiritually and mentally. But it was just on my spirit. God put it on my spirit to really just to talk about this and just be honest, because to this day in 2021, although it's getting a little better, I will say this, it's getting a little better every day. Talking about mental health, I have seen, just how negatively people are about it. Like they feel like, for example, so one thing that I've noticed is like when people say, hey, I'm feeling really depressed. And I think a lot of people do say it innocently, or they kind of say it subconsciously with really not bad intentions. But I've noticed just people online and just hearing it out throughout my life, people saying, oh, well, if you're depressed, just go take a walk. Just go drink some water, or maybe just do this and that. And it's so much more than that. When you're going through a mental health crisis, when you're going through a mental health breakdown and you need help, there is no vitamin supplement that you could take that's really going to help you deeply. Really, there is never going to be a large amount of therapy available enough to help you when you're in that state. And not to say that everybody needs to know exactly what that feels like, because coming from this side of things, when you are going through that kind of episode, you're the only one who really understands it. It's just kind of like that old cliche saying, you don't really know until you've been in their shoes. It's true. I could never put myself in somebody else's shoes that's possibly suffering from schizophrenia, because I don't know what that's like. Or I can't put myself in the shoes of someone who maybe struggles with bipolar disorder, because I don't know what they experience. So it's the same thing when it comes to depression and maybe anxiety. It's different for everyone. It looks different for everybody. And everybody feels different and copes different. So when we talk about mental health, we have to open up our minds and be a little more flexible instead of being so standardized. And this is something I had a discussion about with a friend, I think a few weeks ago. And we were just talking about how standard the care is. And this is just overall. I'm pretty sure it's just universal, but I'm just going to narrow it down to just our society in general. Mental health treatment is really standardized. Our society puts mental health in a box. Really, that's what our society does. It just puts it in a box and says, okay, in this box, this is how you treat this. In this box, this is how you treat that. So if you don't fit the parameters of that box, you're not going to get the help that you need. So my mission and my purpose that I really feel like God put in my spirit is to become, a therapist or a certified psychologist, to be able to really narrow down what that person specifically needs, because you can't put someone in a box. There are obviously going to be some exceptions to the rule, but we don't live by the exception. Okay, we live by the general population, the general rule. So that's just my thoughts on that. I had to just get that out there. And I really hope that maybe some of you guys can leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think about it. What are your guys' views on mental health? And like me, because I'm very open about it, I'm at the point in my life where I really don't have anything to hide anymore. I'm done trying to shut the door on my mind and my mental health. I am who I am. I'm going to be honest about it. I'm going to keep it real. I'm not going to hide it. I'm not even here for the views. I'm not here for that. I'm really just here to be honest and have a conversation about mental health, because it has to happen. And just understand that, I'm never going to speak on something that I don't know. And if I do speak on something, it's because I've experienced it or I'm experiencing it. So it's never going to be something that's so outlandish that I'm not going to know how to talk about it. Now, if I look on a topic of, like I said earlier, and please understand, I'm only saying this because it's the first thing that comes to mind, like schizophrenia. I am not going to speak on it. I may give you facts about it, but I'm not going to speak on what it's like, because I don't have, I don't have it, so I'm not going to speak on it. So, again, I'm going to keep it real. This is going to be short and sweet, and I'm just going to kind of dive right in now. The last part of this video, I just really wanted to get into my own, again, further into my career in the military and my mental health. So back in, I would say probably midway through my career, I went through pretty nasty. I'm just going to come out and say it. I went through pretty much what the worst of the worst is in the military, going to what they call a captain's mast. And for those of you who don't know what that is, it's basically you're being sentenced. You're being formally charged with whatever it is. So it could be an Article 92, it can be an Article 15. Depending on what you did, you get charged. And from that charge, your punishment can be either jail, like literal jail. You can go on what we call restriction, which is basically you're grounded, putting it really elementary, but you're basically grounded. You can't really do anything. And you get extra duty, or you get basically put on lockdown and you're forced to work more. So it really just depends on what you did and who's giving you the charges. But that's not what my point is. So midway through my career, I had a friend pass away, and it just shook me to the core. Mentally, I was just really lost. I just didn't really understand how to interpret, my friend, for one, passing away. And there was nothing I could do about it. It was one of those situations where they went through an overdose and I just couldn't help them. So there was that. And then on top of that, learning that my friend had passed away, I was being put on restriction, which really isn't the worst thing in the world. But when you're a brat like I was, it is the worst thing in the world. So it was lonely. I was dating somebody at the time, but it is what it is. And I really just felt alone. I felt at that time I hadn't gone to therapy in I don't know how long. I was lost. I was lost. I was not taking care of myself mentally, or emotionally. I didn't even know what that looked like for me. I didn't. I really was not even. I didn't even care. I was at the point where I was just so ready to leave the military that I did not care at all, period, about my mental health. I was just kind of like, whatever, I don't care. Get me out, keep me in, whatever you're going to do, I don't care. And something that I learned about myself when I was going through that was that I dissociated basically from myself. It's crazy when I put it like that, but it's true. Some coping mechanisms for people look different, but for me, I disassociate. So if I feel like I really cannot handle something, it's like my brain just disconnects from my body and I just go on autopilot. And I've done that my whole life since I was like 5, as far back as I can remember up until now, even at almost 28, I still do that. And I'm learning that I do that. But at this time, I was just so frantic. I really didn't know what to do. I just kind of shut down. And all that anger that I was feeling, my friend passed away. Then I was on restriction. And then I felt like I was being attacked at my job. I had little support. I was alone. And I was angry. And I just shoved it all down. Basically, I just didn't really deal with it. I let that anger and stress turn into desperation for me. And I was reaching for something that would make me just feel any bit of control in my life. And it's just scary. I mean, especially in the military, when you have 5, 6 people that have total control over your life, from the places you live to the money you get, from how much work you're getting, like almost every aspect of your life is controlled. That is like the worst feeling in the world. And if you're in the military, I mean, maybe you know what this feeling is. You just literally feel like every part of your life is controlled. So then on top of the stress and the anger I was feeling, then you have that loss of control. And then I just kept disassociating from myself. And eventually I got to a point, and I'm going to keep it all the way real, is I started sleeping around. And I just felt like that was my way of empowering myself. As a woman, as a person, I needed something to give me control over my life. And that just brought me into just a deeper hole emotionally and spiritually. I'm going to post another video, a little bit later, kind of more in depth on the feminine side of that experience. But, this is for mental health, so I'm just going to keep it at that. But just to keep it real, I kind of feel like at this age, like mentally, I'm kind of like going through a re-puberty. Is that weird? I don't know. It's like I'm like rediscovering myself a little bit again, and I'm just finding what feels good mentally and emotionally. I'm still figuring this out. So to end, on a good note, for those of you guys who have experienced mental health problems at all, at any point, or someone that has, or you feel like you're going through a crisis, please hear it from me. You are not alone. You are not alone, ever, 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 ever. This is a totally safe place for you to talk about your experience, judgment free, no flex zone over here. I get it. I've been there. And not only have I been there once, but I've been there twice, 1,000, 5,000 times. And I'm going to probably be there again. Let's just keep it real. We're not perfect human beings. We go through emotional stages. We are all very different. So you are not alone. It's okay. And if you feel like emotionally you're losing control, I just want you to with me, just take a deep breath. Let the air just flow through your lungs and just realize it's going to be okay. Take it one second at a time. That is all you can do. Don't let what anybody else tells you make you feel worse. If you want to turn your phone off for a little while to get some fresh air, do that. If the way you mentally need to decompress is by sleeping half the day, then sleep half the day. If you got to call off of work because you feel like you can't even function, call off of work. I will never be that one person that just says, oh, well, you just need to get over it. No, with things like this, you can't just get over it. You got to go with your ebbs and flows of yourself, really. But anyways, guys, stay tuned. No promises, but I do have new content coming. So just put that notification bell. I don't know what side. I think it's on this side. Turn the bell on. Subscribe if you haven't. If you're watching this channel, you ain't subscribed. You try for it. All right, you try. Anyways, all right, guys, be blessed. Please, y'all, be blessed. All right, God bless y'all. Please be blessed. I really mean that from my heart, my spirit. Be blessed. Let peace go before you. It will be okay. All right, y'all. Have a good day.